For next year, are you optimistic about the global economy or pessimistic?
Pessimistic.
Pessimistic.
Pessimistic about.
Get ready to discover the secrets of one of the world's most successful investors and hedge fund managers, Ray Dalio. Today, we'll explore his unique perspective on the global economy, politics, and culture. We will learn how he recommends investors safeguard their family's wealth in the face of uncertainty and volatility. He also recommends 3 stocks for us to buy: Procter & Gamble, Johnson & Johnson, and Coca-Cola. Ray Dalio defines the world order as a set of rules, values, and norms that govern the relationships between countries and regions. He argues that this order changes every 75 to 100 years as dominant powers decline and new ones emerge. According to Dalio, the current world order started after World War II, when the United States and its allies established a liberal, democratic, and capitalist system that promoted free trade, human rights, and global cooperation. This system created unparalleled prosperity and peace for many countries, particularly in the West. However, Dalio warns that this world order is now declining as Western countries face economic, political, and social challenges that undermine their competitiveness and influence. He notes that the United States has accumulated a massive debt burden, which limits its ability to stimulate the economy and invest in the future. He also points out that the United States has become more divided and polarized, which undermines its ability to govern efficiently and cooperate with other countries. Dalio predicts that the world order will undergo a significant transition in the next decade as the United States and China compete for global leadership and shape the new rules and norms in the international system. He expects that this transition will be accompanied by increased conflict, tension, and instability, as well as opportunities for cooperation and collaboration. Ray Dalio is a well-known analyst of economic cycles. He identifies 2 main cycles: the long-term debt cycle and the short-term debt cycle. The long-term debt cycle lasts for 50 to 75 years and has 4 phases: the debt bubble, the debt crisis, the debt deleveraging, and the beautiful deleveraging. The short-term debt cycle lasts for 5 to 10 years and has 2 phases: the expansion and the recession. According to Dalio, we are currently in the late stage of a long-term debt cycle, where the debt bubble has burst and the debt crisis has begun. This debt bubble was created by excessive borrowing and spending, which fueled economic growth and asset prices, but also increased the debt-to-income ratio and the debt-to-asset ratio. The debt crisis was triggered by the COVID-19 pandemic, which caused a sharp drop in income and a surge in defaults and bankruptcies. Dalio warns that the debt crisis cannot be resolved by conventional monetary and fiscal policies, such as printing more money, lowering interest rates, raising taxes, or cutting spending. Instead, he suggests a combination of 4 actions: austerity, debt restructuring, wealth redistribution, and monetary reform. This process is called debt deleveraging, which aims to reduce the debt burden and restore the balance between debt and income. Dalio acknowledges that this process is painful and difficult, as it involves sacrifices, losses, and conflicts. He also notes that the success of this process depends on the coordination and cooperation of various actors, such as governments, central banks, creditors, and debtors. Dalio hopes that the debt deleveraging will eventually lead to a beautiful deleveraging, which is the phase where the debt burden is reduced, the economic growth is restored, and social harmony is maintained. He notes that this phase requires a balance between austerity, debt restructuring, wealth redistribution, and monetary reform, as well as a balance between the public and private sectors and the domestic and foreign sectors. He also highlights the importance of having a clear vision and strategy for the future, as well as a supportive culture and system for innovation and adaptation. Dalio is concerned about the social crisis, which he defines as the deterioration of the social fabric and the social contract. He believes that the social crisis is caused by the widening gap between the rich and the poor, the loss of opportunity and mobility, and the decline of trust and cooperation. The debt crisis worsens the social crisis, the changing world order, and the environmental crisis. Dalio observes that the social crisis is manifested in various forms, such as rising populism, nationalism, and extremism, increasing social unrest, violence, and polarization, and declining democracy, freedom, and human rights. The social crisis is affecting many countries and regions, especially in the United States and other Western countries, where social cohesion and social capital are eroding. To address the social crisis, Dalio proposes a combination of 3 actions: education, redistribution, and reform. He believes that education is key to improving people's skills and productivity, as well as the competitiveness and innovation of the economy. Redistribution is key to reducing inequality and poverty, as well as instability and conflict in society. Reform is key to enhancing the efficiency and accountability of institutions, as well as the legitimacy and cooperation of the system. Dalio hopes that the social crisis will eventually lead to a social renewal, where the social fabric and social contract are restored. This phase requires a shared vision and a common purpose, as well as a culture and system that fosters diversity and inclusion. This phase also requires a balance between individualism and collectivism, and between competition and cooperation. Dalio is also worried about the environmental crisis, which he defines as the degradation of natural resources and the natural environment. He believes that the environmental crisis is caused by the overconsumption and overpopulation of humans, which exceed the carrying capacity and regenerative capacity of the planet. The environmental crisis is worsened by the lack of awareness and action of the human species, which ignores the long-term consequences and systemic effects of their behavior. The environmental crisis is manifested in various forms, such as global warming, climate change, and extreme weather, biodiversity loss, habitat deconstruction and species extinction, pollution, waste and toxicity, resource depletion, scarcity, and conflict. It's affecting all countries and regions, especially developing countries and vulnerable communities, where resilience and adaptation are low. To tackle the environmental crisis, Dalio suggests a combination of three actions: conservation, innovation, and collaboration. Conservation is key to reducing consumption and population, as well as the impact and footprint of human activities. Innovation is key to developing technologies and solutions that enhance the efficiency and sustainability of the human species, as well as the quality and diversity of their lives. Collaboration is key to creating policies and agreements that align the interests and incentives of the human species, as well as cooperation and coordination of their actions. Dalio hopes that the environmental crisis will eventually lead to environmental harmony, where natural resources and the natural environment are preserved. This phase requires a holistic and systemic perspective, as well as a long-term and global orientation. This phase also requires a balance between human needs and nature's needs, and between development and conservation. Dalio advises investors to diversify their portfolios across different asset classes, geographies, and sectors in order to reduce their risk and increase their return. He also advises investors to adjust their portfolios according to the economic cycles, the world order, and the market conditions in order to capture the opportunities and avoid the pitfalls. He also advises investors to follow his principles, which are based on his experience and his research, in order to make better decisions. In this section, we will share the 3 recent stock picks that Dalio has added to his portfolio, according to his latest 13F filings. These stocks are diversified across various sectors and are aligned with his principles and outlook. We will also explain why these stocks are excellent long-term investments and how they can protect your family's wealth in a changing world. Procter & Gamble is a top global consumer goods company known for brands like Tide, Gillette, Pampers, and Crest. Dalio recently acquired 1.3 million shares of the company, viewing it as a defensive play due to its ability to generate stable cash flows and earnings. Procter & Gamble reported strong Q1 fiscal 2024 results, with a 5% increase in organic sales and raised full-year guidance. The stock is currently trading at a fair valuation, offers a dependable dividend, and has a resilient business model. Johnson & Johnson is a diversified healthcare company with a robust pipeline of drugs and devices, and a portfolio of well-known brands. The company is a dividend aristocrat and has a competitive edge in its industry. In Q3 2023, the company reported impressive results, beating analyst estimates on both revenue and earnings. With an attractive valuation, low beta, and solid growth potential, it is an excellent choice for investors seeking a diversified healthcare company with a strong dividend. Coca-Cola is a leading beverage company with a global presence in more than 200 countries and over 500 brands. It's a dividend king, having raised its dividend for 59 consecutive years. The company is well positioned to recover from the pandemic-induced slump due to its diversified product mix, geographic exposure, and strategic initiatives. Coca-Cola reported stellar results for Q3 2023 and raised its full-year guidance. With a fair valuation, low beta, and a generous dividend, Coca-Cola is an intelligent choice for investors looking for a promising recovery outlook. The 3 stocks we discussed in the video are Procter & Gamble, Johnson & Johnson, and Coca-Cola, which are all strong buys, according to TipRanks. We recommend adding these stocks to your portfolio and following Dalio's advice and insights for the long term. And that's it for this video. We hope you enjoyed watching it and learned something new. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get notified of our future videos. We have more amazing videos coming up, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching and see you next time.